Edge at 11 starts now.
Tonight on The Edge, a violent crash that started with a food fight. This story has all the ingredients: eggs, flour, basically anything that will make a delicious pastry.
But it made anything but. So how does a crash fit into this mix? Fox News' Jessica Dupnack joins us live to explain. Jessica, it's another wild one tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can be a little tongue-in-cheek at this point because no one was seriously hurt. Now, that video that you saw a snippet of, it's gone viral the last couple days. We watched it get international attention. And of course, it happened right here on Detroit's West Side. So we set out to find the backstory.
I usually see stuff like that on social media, not in real life.
This video viral overnight. Jordan Powers on his porch started rolling on this last Friday, and egging in progress.
It was eggs, Jiffy Mix, flour, water.
Baking a cake.
Basically.
Nisha Anderson already knew the girls behind the carton of eggs were targeting her 17-year-old brother at their home near Puritan and Schaefer on Detroit's West Side.
I guess she got mad because he broke up with her because he had a female friend and she had a guy friend. It was basically like a relationship problem.
Innocent enough until the teens hopped in the SUV to get away, ignoring that stop sign. For a split second, Nisha admittedly didn't hate the karma served up in real time.
Then again, I was a little frustrated because y'all just put somebody else into something that had nothing to do with anything.
And as it always goes, the innocent woman driving the car was hurt. Not bad, but taken to the hospital to get checked out. The teens split. Did it look like anyone was hurt that you could tell?
No, the way they got out that car and started running. No.
Once again, they did not make it very far.
Cops caught up with them. The only thing the cops did was gave them a ticket and sent them home with their parents.
What was your advice to him after all this happened?
Well, I kind of told him, welcome to, kind of adulthood, because he just graduated from high school.
She says he gets a pass this time. First love and first breakup.
Love makes you crazy sometimes, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw that look. That's side eye.
That side eye was dedicated to the 17-year-old brother who is out of frame. A little bit of extra chores for him this week from that sister. Now, the 4 kids that were in the car, the offenders that were throwing those eggs in flour, they were all juveniles. They were ticketed, of course, for the accident, but no damage was done to the house, so no charges will be filed. Reporting live on Detroit's West Side, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
And like you said, we can kind of smile about this because nobody was seriously hurt. We feel for that woman who was in that car, but in general, people have to learn how to handle their problems and their issues and their relationships, and it seems the last few years, adult or teens, that lesson has been lost somewhere.
Yeah, that's exactly it, and especially the start of summer, the guy that was behind the camera that captured all of this, he says these kids are out of school now. They need to stay home, go play basketball, do something productive, put the eggs and the Jiffy Mix down for the summer.
Not bad advice. Jessica Dupnack for us live tonight on The Edge. Thank you.
And more about what you were really talking about, Rube. It was a violent weekend in Detroit, and 3 people killed and 4 others hurt in 4 separate shootings.
Yeah, the bloodshed has both activists and police working together to make sure we don't see a summer spike in violence. Fox News' Dave Kinchin has more on how they plan to do that.
You're listening to the sound of war on Detroit streets this past weekend. A security camera records gunshot after gunshot on Nevada Street near John R. Friday night. In the end, a man in his 20s was taken from this world and 2 others were wounded.
I don't think the police can control it. I don't think that, because if they could, it wouldn't still be going on. It's still going on.
Gun violence is personal for this Detroiter named Michael Carter. His 16-year-old nephew was murdered several years ago, but it often feels just like yesterday.
It's just terrible. It reminds me of when he got killed. And they still killing people who don't make no sense to me. When we could talk this out, basically we grown people, talk this out, don't kill nobody.
Less than 24 hours after the Nevada Street shooting, more deadly gunfire on I-96 near Evergreen. A 35-year-old man gunned down in his car. Detroit saw a third fatal shooting Saturday night at West Warren and Southfield, where a man in his 20s was killed. And by early Sunday morning, 2 teens from West Bloomfield and Southfield were both shot in the arm while in a car driving on the lodge near McNichols.
I think people are outside, they're drinking, they're engaging in things that we, do or people do, and people are just a little more uninhibited, if you will.
U.S. Attorney Dawn Eisen believes that's what sparks much of the surge in violence we see in the summer months. It's why her office will be charging certain gun crimes federally using a hotspot strategy, focusing on the most violent parts of the city, along with all of the parks in the city limits as well.
So we take felon in possessions, Glock switches, carjackings, robberies of businesses, and we also take anybody who has a meaningful connection to those, the 8th and the 9th precinct, who commit one of those crimes there. Generally, our sentences carry more time when it comes to those kind of violent offenses and or gun charges.
Eisen spent the day with Detroit police getting the word out about Peacenik, a community event where those in need can get anti-violence resources on June 15th.
There will be a ton of job opportunities there. You can get your licenses in order. You can get an expungement if that's preventing you from getting a job.
And U.S. Attorney Eisen says her office is data-driven, and the data shows it's a small group of people repeatedly committing the gun violence. She says they're committed to getting those dangerous people out of the neighborhoods. At Detroit Police Headquarters, Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
Opening statements are expected to begin tomorrow in the high-profile murder of Jewish leader Samantha Woll. She was found stabbed to death outside her Detroit home last October. After an intense, months-long search, police arrested and charged Michael Jackson Bolanos with first-degree premeditated murder and home invasion. Stay with Fox 2 on air and online for updates on the trial.
I forgive him, you know what I'm saying? I just hope that he forgive himself.
That was the husband of a woman killed by a suspected drunk driver saying he forgives the man who killed his wife. The court might be less forgiving, though. 37-year-old Maurice Griffin now facing multiple charges for causing that crash that killed 32-year-old Desiree Jones in Canton last week. This was his third drunk driving offense. Griffin faces life in prison for the deadly crash. His bond was set at $1 million.
A workplace tragedy at a metal manufacturing facility takes the life of a young man.
And this happened Friday afternoon at DPR Manufacturing in Warren. Family and friends say 24-year-old Matthew McCoy worked there for the past several years and really enjoyed his job. On Friday, emergency crews responded to an industrial accident involving heavy machinery. First responders were unable to save McCoy's life. He's being remembered as someone who always put family first and was so generous.
Anybody who can understand and have that kind of a loss, like I have a little brother, and I could never imagine that.
The family is raising money for Matthew McCoy's funeral. You can find a link on fox2detroit.com.
I seen this plane come down, nosedive and right in the ground.
Tragedy in Washington County as a small plane crashes in a field, killing a flight instructor and injuring his student. You can see from Sky Fox that the cockpit is completely destroyed. The plane crashed in Bridgewater Township near Lima Center Road and Michigan Avenue this afternoon. We're told the 46-year-old flight instructor is from Dearborn. The 22-year-old student is from North Carolina and is currently enrolled at U of M. Well, fresh off a hush money payment conviction, former President Donald Trump back on the campaign trail.
And he'll return to Detroit this weekend. We're told he'll hold a community roundtable at the 180 Church on Stansbury in Northwest Detroit at 4 p.m. The event comes as he's set to give the keynote speech at the People's Convention at Huntington Place. The former president is trying to attract black voters to his re-election campaign. Michigan is a battleground state. A controversial apartment complex is officially coming to Royal Oak.
Tonight, commissioners voting unanimously to approve a 42-unit apartment building. The planned 3.5-story building will replace a vacant bank on Rochester Road right near 14 Mile. Nearby homeowners are worried about increased traffic and parking issues.
All right, Switching gears to our weather, which it did feel like we were kind of revving up the gears a touch this morning. It was cool out there to start and to end of the night, but maybe it's going to change a bit.
Yeah, it was strange, like sweatshirt weather this morning that turned into, I guess, maybe long sleeves. Is there a warm-up in sight for short-sleeve weather? Meteorologist Lori Pinson with a look at her forecast.
You know, I guess the happy thing is that it wasn't long john type of weather.
True, true that.
Absolutely. Well, a good Monday to you. We do have some cooler temperatures heading in our direction, at least overnight, as we are looking at winds coming at us primarily out of the northeast. Temperatures already just in the 50s for us. Let's get a little bit closer look. And the winds, again, have subsided somewhat throughout the day. Pretty breezy. Now more of a northeasterly flow at about that 5 to 10 mile per hour range. We'll go calm past midnight. Let's take a look around neighborhood. 48 degrees right now in Ann Arbor. Good evening to you. In Windsor, you're at 54. Grosse Hill, 57. Currently in Troy, it is 56 degrees. Now, this is after a high today. Below the norm, 68. Our average low should be 59. But you know what? As we get into the overnight lows, things are going to be a little bit chillier for us. We're still expecting temperatures to be right around that 50-degree mark overnight with mostly clear skies. So no worries as far as any rain coming on in. That's because high pressure on up here to our north, governing our forecast for us, making it mostly sunny skies for tomorrow. And as the high pressure system tracks a little farther on off there to our east, wind direction will shift, becoming more of a southwesterly flow. And that is going to pop our numbers up. Let's take a look at it. Does it bring any rain? And the short answer is not initially. We have that opportunity for rain coming in for you by your Thursday time frame, and perhaps even as we head into Monday. And not coincidentally, that's when the hottest times will be as well. We talk about hot temps. Let's take a look over the next 10 days and that scale, upwardly mobile temperatures. I like to call it 70s tomorrow, near 90 degrees on Thursday, touching those 90s once again as we go into your Monday. Let me put some conditions with that. Here's what we're anticipating. Dry tomorrow, increasing clouds on Wednesday, chance for storms Thursday, maybe lingering into your Friday. So far the weekend looking dry, a chance of rain for you on your Monday. Hope you have a great evening.
Honestly, nothing surprises me anymore, to be honest with you. It's not a good look, though.
Drunk at Krispy Kreme. Police make a not-so-sweet discovery at the popular donut shop. A Detroit woman was found passed out behind the wheel halfway in a parking spot with the vehicle running. Officers woke her up, and then her sobriety test didn't go very well. We're told the inside of her vehicle also smelled like weed. A chemical breath test determined the 26-year-old's blood alcohol level was 0.13. She is expected to be arraigned later this week.
Well, this one really stinks. Shelby Township Police want to know who tore apart some porta-johns at Whispering Woods Park. The department released these photos today of the destruction. You can see there's no longer any privacy with these porta potties. Shelby Township is hoping somebody will call and turn in these vandals.
Hope they didn't spill.